Hello student, welcome to my class. Your next lecture continue. When I decided to go to abroad for further studies, I was sure my grandmother would be upset. I would be away for 5 years, and at her age one, could never tell, but my grandmother could. She was not even sentimental. Sentimental means a feeling of nostalgia, sadness, or tenderness or an emotional feeling. She came to leave me at the railway station but did not talk or show any emotion. Her lips moved in prayer, her mind was lost in prayer, her fingers were busy telling the beads of her rosary. Silently, she kissed my forehead, and when I left, I cherished. Cherished means hold something dear. The moist imprint. Moist means wet, and imprint means impression or stamp. As perhaps the last sign of physical contact between us, but that was not so. After 5 years, I came back home and was met by her at the station. She did not look a day older. She still had no time for words and was met by her at the station. She did not look a day older. She still had no time for words, and while she clasped means hold tightly, me in her arms, I could hear her reciting her prayers. Even on the first day of my arrival, her happiest moments were with her sparrows, whom she fed longer, and with frivolous rebukes. A rebuke means disapproval of something or someone, and frivolous means light-hearted scolding. Okay, this is your paragraph. Explanation of this paragraph: when the author decided to go abroad for further studies, he believed it would be the last time he would see her, as he would be gone for 5 long years. Okay, here we are discussing the third phase of the chapter. As they all reached the station, she held him tightly and kissed his forehead. He thought it was the last physical contact with her. The wet impression on her hand was dear to him. She was not sentimental at all. She was not emotional at all. When he came back after 5 years, she came to meet him at the station. She looked just the way she did 5 years ago, not a day older. She held him again in her arms and was still reciting her prayers. He noticed on the first day of his arrival that only sparrows would make her happy. And in your next paragraph, in the evening, a change came over her. She did not pray. She collected the women of the neighborhood, got an old drum, and started to sing. For several hours she thumped. Thumped means hit. The seizing means sinking downwards. Skins of the dilapidated. Dilapidated means in a state of despair or ruin. Drum and seized and sang of the homecoming of warriors. We had to pursue. Pursue means to talk someone into doing something, a request. Her to stop to avoid overstraining. Overstraining means overdoing something. That was the first time since I had known her that she did not pray. The next morning she was stricken ill. It was a mild fever, and the doctor told us that it would go. But my grandmother thought differently. She told us that her end was near. And she said that since only a few hours before the close of the last chapter of the life, she had omitted to pray. Omitted means leave out or exclude something. She was not going to waste any more time talking to us. After that, author spent 5 years in abroad and came back to India. And here we discuss about this. An evening, she didn't follow her regular routines of praying. She collected a few women from the neighborhood, got a drum, and started singing with them. She thumped, she hit the ruined part of the drum and sang along. The whole family persuaded her to stop as she might get ill due to exhaustions. Due to exhaustions, the next morning she fell ill. It was a mild fever. The doctors told them that it would go away, but she took it differently. According to her, she would die soon as her end was near. She started chanting. She started singing prayer as she didn't want to waste her last hour in talking to anyone. Okay, today's lecture finished. I hope you understand this paragraph, and goodbye for tomorrow, your last lecture of this chapter.